These are times Peter Griffin was the absolute worst TV dad on Family Guy. Starting with the time Peter roped Chris into a fake memorabilia business in And Then There's Fraud. So while attending a Red Sox game, Chris makes it clear he does not understand how baseball works.
I've got my ball ready in case Xander hits a glove our way.
Okay, gotta talk more sports with you.
Hey, at least his thoughts are in the right... what do they call the park where they play ball? Ballpark! Didn't even have to think about it. But when the batter hits his 200th home run, Chris gets mistaken as the one who caught it.
I'll give you $100 for it right now.
Oh, I just brought this ball from...
Home! Caught from home! Home plate!
Luckily, this man seems just drunk enough and just Bostonian enough to believe them. Just kidding, Boston. You know we love your lobster rolls.
I can't believe that guy just paid us $300 for a regular baseball.
Yeah, that was so easy.
Easy enough that the duo believes they can keep doing this with other fake memorabilia. It really warms my heart to see a father and son go into crime together.
What's this?
This is O.J. Simpson's Heisman Trophy.
Are you crazy?
What? It's fine. This is like the second thing he's most well known for. And the two continue to reel in the green, even selling the alleged hat Sully Sullenberger was wearing when he landed on the Hudson River.
Someone bought it off our website for $5,000.
No way, what moron paid that much?
Well, I think you could piece together who pretty easily. We're more than halfway through the episode. We're not introducing some new guy when we got old Reliable over here.
If he ever figures it out, we're in trouble. What are we gonna do?
Well, we definitely shouldn't kill him, Dad.
Really? But that kinda sounds like a good plan. Don't rule anything out just yet, Chris.
I'm gonna get it signed by the man himself.
Wait, Sully's alive? And you're gonna show it to him?
Of course he's alive. He spends most of his days awake with the shotgun in hand, waiting for the family of that goose he hit to come take their revenge, but he's still living, if you can call that living. But Peter and Chris are too late to stop Quagmire from meeting his hero, and even though Sully is wearing what is probably the hat he wore that day, he doesn't spoil the moment for Quagmire.
So if that man believes he has my hat, maybe that'll make him a little bit better husband.
Nope.
Little better dad.
Nope.
Well, maybe it'll help him be a little better side character as to tone down his inappropriateness so the show doesn't get canceled. So while this didn't end in tragedy, it was still probably a little wrong for Peter to get his son into the business of scamming people. You let him do that, and pretty soon Chris will have his own meme coin he rug pulls and then gets canceled for. But Meg probably wanted to cancel Peter after he mistreated her when she got the mumps, and not all dogs go to heaven. So when Peter drags his family to a Star Trek convention, he forces Meg to take a picture with a cosplayer.
Hey, how'd you make that awesome mask?
It's not a mask. I have the mumps.
Man, not being a Star Trek fan means these references go way over my head. In reality, mumps is a highly contagious virus that can cause painful swelling and inflammation. And here I thought not wearing deodorant to a convention was one of the worst things a nerd could do.
Well, Meg has the mumps all right. How is it she was never immunized?
Probably because I'd be shocked if the Griffins had health insurance, and I'd be even more shocked if they decided to use it on Meg. At least you can rest assured that she'll be receiving the best bedside care a girl can ask for.
Meg, your mother made soup for you. Here you go, honey.
On second thought, maybe she shouldn't have asked at all. It's one thing to hit your daughter with a bowl of soup, but to pair that soup with some milk? Just a diabolical food combination. And when Peter saw how much money he could make from Chris's baseball talents, his gambling inadvertently caused Chris's arm to get broken and Bookie of the Year. So Peter and Lois start to realize Chris might have a bit too much pent-up anger that he needs to get out.
This is not what I thought it was!
Yeah, false advertising gets me pretty mad too. You know how many roofs I've jumped off of after drinking a Red Bull? Where are the wings?
We have to deal with his anger issues before he hurts himself.
Well, I guess he can just hurt other people instead. At least that's what happens when they go with Peter's treatment of throwing apples at moving cars.
Can I have a turn?
Uh-oh. You just never expect someone to get mad when you pelt them with fruit. The guy in the stocks usually seems to like it, but the guy actually isn't mad because he sees a lot of potential in Chris.
Tell me, son, how would you like to pitch for the high school team?
Baseball's the sport people play while eating, right?
Eating, drinking, and smoking. It really is the most American of games. And during Chris's first game, Peter quickly learns of the other very American side of the sport, gambling.
I bet you $100 that fat slob strikes this kid out.
Ah, you're on.
I'd probably keep working on better baseball nicknames for Chris other than the Fat Slob, and I thought Johnny Dickshot had it rough. But Chris makes good on Peter's promise, earning Peter a nice little win.
Holy crap, $100! Hey, nice going, Chris!
And after some persuasion from the guys, Peter figures he's just found a new regular source of income.
I bet there are plenty of other baseball dads who'd also assume Chris stinks. Peter, we could make a lot of money.
Hey, it worked out well for Pete Rose after all. Keep it up and he might just get tombstoned by Kane. So as Chris cleans up the field, Peter and the guys clean the crowd out of their money. But Chris's fame will make this a little hard to continue.
Star pitcher Chris Griffin.
Aw, crap, now everyone knows Chris is a ringer.
Hey, it's better than being a knocker. It's the 21st century. You see the doorbell. Don't you dare try knocking on my door. So the only way they could make money now is if Chris lost.
That's it. All we gotta do is take those bets and get Chris to take a dive.
Because after all, if you aren't making money from high school sports, then why even do them? Popularity? Exercise? Scholarships? Chump change compared to making some actual chump change.
Yes, I did tell Chris to throw the game, but it's okay, it's for gambling.
You just wouldn't get it, Lois. It's a perpetually divorced guy thing. But Lois convinces Chris to play to win, putting the guy's plan in jeopardy.
We're screwed once Chris takes the mound with that awesome arm of his.
Sure would be a shame if that arm had a little accident. Maybe the brake lines of its car got cut. Maybe it goes swimming a little too soon after eating.
You guys heard what I heard, right? Peter just asked us to break Chris's arm.
Well, he didn't say that, but maybe that's what he meant? Boy, do I love subtext. And so the guys do just that, leaving the high school without their star pitcher.
I never told you to do that.
You didn't? That's what I thought I heard.
Glenn, you're like 65 now. Probably time to start thinking about hearing aids. So while Peter didn't directly hurt Chris, he still feels guilty about his actions that led to this happening.
You found something you were great at, and instead of being happy for you, I tried to use it to make money.
It was a pretty selfish thing to do, but there are plenty of worse ways you could exploit your child. You could have your son make the same face over and over again for years to make strangers online clap. But Peter would find a way to hurt his son further by calling him a fat loser when he refused to believe that Chris got a girlfriend in the episode Girlfriend Day. So Chris returns from camp where he reveals he got a little more than an egregious poison ivy rash.
Camp was awesome. I got a girlfriend.
Which now means he knows everything there is to know about a successful relationship. Something that probably sounds like Sanskrit to Peter.
Remember, Dad, never question your wife's choices. After all, you were one of them.
The guy gets one girlfriend and suddenly starts talking like a middle-aged woman's favorite minion Facebook meme.
Do we know anything about this girl?
All I know is he met her at camp and she's from Canada.
Trouble.
Yeah, Canada's the home of all hypothetical girlfriends. It's close enough to believe they have the same culture as you, but just far enough away that no one will be able to check you on it.
Seems a bit suspicious to me.
Wait, you think he made her up?
As sure as my uncle works at Nintendo, I'm sure I could see Chris doing that for clout. Well, better to interrogate him about this rather than work on his own relationship problems.
You don't have a girlfriend, you made her up.
No, I didn't. She's real.
She's real, huh? Well then, let's go see her.
So the father and son set off on their trip to Canada built on distrust and lies. I remember when my father and I did the same thing.
Sounds like you're quite the relationship expert. I'm sure you can tell me what is like.
Wow, now this is really reminding me of the trip with my dad. If Chris is lucky, his trip will end the same way, with his dad getting grabbed by an octopus never to be seen again. And this is gonna shock you, but stopping by a Canadian strip club does not make the trip go smoother.
You know why I don't believe you have a girlfriend?
Why?
Because you're a fat loser.
Peter, that was said neither in your head nor in the mirror looking back at yourself. Good luck repairing that bridge, buddy.
You called me a fat loser.
You're like PH, fat, and PH, loser.
Yeah, get with the lingo, Chris. Instead of talking to your loving girlfriend, you could have been doom scrolling and learning all the new, dumb ways we're destroying the English language. Eventually, Peter manages to get Chris in the car, but the damage has already been done. So Peter tries to relate to Chris on a more personal level.
Well, this is hard for me to admit, but I used to be a fat loser.
That used to be is doing more heavy lifting than Atlas. But Peter reveals that he made up a similar lie in high school to try and feel better about himself, assuming Chris had done the same.
I just wanted to save you from some of the pain and humiliation I went through.
But, surprise, surprise, Chris was telling the truth. Though when he sees how sad his dad is, he decides to lie to protect his feelings.
I made the whole thing up. I guess we're both a couple of fat losers, huh, Dad?
But now you gotta go through your whole life knowing your dad is a bigger loser than you. Hard to really call this one a win, especially because Peter could have just minded his own business and let Chris do what he's doing, lie or not. But this at least gives people hope that they could one day find their own Canadian girlfriend. Ah, if only Canada were real. But Peter would learn how real prison is when he got arrested to avoid spending Thanksgiving with his family in Shanksgiving. So Lois has invited her entire family over for Thanksgiving, which means the holiday will be filled with a ton of Fs. Fun, family, food. Yep, that one too. Probably a lot of that considering how much Peter likes her family. And it turns out the guys are in a similar boat. But you know what would be better than spending the holidays with family? Being in jail.
You know, sometimes I envy the guys in the town jail. They get a turkey dinner on Quahog and don't have the hassle of hosting their families.
Well, that's a pro that definitely outweighs any of the cons I can think of. Plus, I hear the toilet wine is absolutely to die for this season.
Hear me out. We'll commit a small crime and get put in jail for a couple days.
There's never been a better reason to commit a crime, except of course for the sole reason that you really, really want to. So what's something they can do that's serious enough to get them sent to jail, but not serious enough to get them the electric chair?
I forgot to steal the package.
Well, the owner of the Ring doorbell might not press charges, but that gnome definitely should. But it looks like that's enough to get them arrested by somebody who appears to be in the wrong show.
Police Superintendent Chalmers?
My brother is superintendent of the schools in Springfield.
I don't know what's in the water over there in Springfield, but it seems dangerous enough that it's causing yellow-skinned birth defects. At least in Quahog, you'll die a quick, painless, giant chicken-involved death. Well, not anymore. R.I.P. big guy. But while the guys have succeeded, it's not jail they're heading to.
You guys think you're the first ones to have this idea? The jail's already full of dads getting out of Thanksgiving.
Does every dad in this town hate their family? Dang, maybe they should be in jail. But the guys have a different destination.
The state penitentiary.
And luckily for them, it's a holiday weekend, so they won't be getting a trial until Monday. Look, even Justice knows when it's time to step back and spend time with loved ones.
Maybe prison won't be so bad. Maybe we just gotta make the best of it.
After all, the Shawshank Redemption made it look very whimsical. Just look at how fulfilled and rejuvenated Brooks looked after he got out.
You ruined Thanksgiving. I have to host 20 people by myself.
You smoke now?
Well, she kinda gives the vibe of someone who always smoked, but now has a good enough reason to do it publicly. Though if the guys want to survive their stay, they're gonna have to go full fraternity mode and find a gang to join.
You guys showed up at the perfect time. Tomorrow's the start of prison rush week. Get in one and you're home free.
There are a lot of positives to joining a gang. Friends, matching outfits, some fun hazing that may or may not lead to an avoidable death.
I'm never gonna find a gang.
Hey, you look like you could use a friend.
Well, that was nice of those bald, menacing Caucasian guys to let Peter in like that. I wonder what kind of fun gang shenanigans they get up to here.
As the new white guy in prison, you have to shiv the new black guy.
Not too demanding of an ask. Peter stabbed Cleveland for less motivation before, but in prison, you gotta get to shivving before the shivving gets to you.
Ah! Sorry, Peter. My gang said I wasn't really loco unless I shivved someone, and...
Turns out shivving's a pretty popular gang initiation tool. You know, if they all just stopped stabbing each other, they'd learn how similar they are to each other.
We're shivving each other on Thanksgiving. Oh, wait, no one shivved Cleveland. Ah! But what are we doing?
Maybe they're just really missing cranberry sauce and need to see something red. But Peter finally realizes how selfish he's been to choose prison over being with his family for the holiday, something he's quick to rectify.
My days of selfishness and red wig I'm ready to come home with you.
Yeah, just let him out. It's a cartoon. Who cares? Still, it goes to show just how little he enjoys his family's company that he would go to such lengths to avoid them. Especially when the holiday already encourages you to fall into a food and beer coma and forget everything. But Chris would slip into a coma after being traumatized by Peter killing off his favorite holiday figure in Boy Dog Meets Girl Dog. So it's Valentine's Day, a time of love, chalk-flavored candy, and the iconic figurehead of the whole holiday, Arthur Valentine.
Well, I better set out a can of tuna fish and a cigar for Arthur Valentine. I can't wait to see what he brings me.
No, Chris isn't having a mental episode, and we didn't just try to gaslight you into believing in a Valentine's Day cryptid. It turns out Arthur is a character Peter and Lois came up with to soothe Chris when he didn't get any Valentine's cards.
Apparently he's not well liked. Some of the kids think he's weird because he takes his shirt off to pee.
Hey, real urinal users know the better style of peeing is optimal bathroom tech. It keeps your shirt safe from any potential splashback. So Peter basically came up with a Santa Claus-like figure who would bring him gifts to make him feel better.
He has a long beard.
Oh, and he's got an eye patch. But not for medical reasons, he just likes the look.
We should get those back in style. It wouldn't be the worst piece of fashion we all unanimously accepted.
It's time we have a talk with Chris. We've got to put an end to this Arthur Valentine nonsense.
But when it comes time to have the talk, Chris doesn't seem to want to accept reality.
He doesn't exist.
No, you're both lying!
Yeah, I had the same reaction when I learned Betty Crocker wasn't real either. You're just gonna lull me into a false sense of security by convincing me some immortal old woman made this cake? Well, there's only one way to put Arthur Valentine to rest. By actually putting him to rest right in front of Chris.
Arthur! Oh my god, he's dead!
My child, don't mourn his fake death, but rather celebrate his fake life he didn't live. Coincidentally, this is also how Quagmire's planning on going out. Something about getting run over by Lois just sounds so appealing to him. And apparently the moment was so traumatizing that it put Chris into a vegetative state.
We thought we'd— Awakenings!
Peter, I'm not sure that's
Awakenings!
Maybe he should try shouting some more Robin Williams movies until he finds the right one.
I think we went too far by killing Arthur Valentine. We have to bring him back to life.
If you say so. I'll grab the Necronomicon and some jumper cables. But they plan to just dress up like Arthur and hope and pray that's enough to snap Chris out of it.
It's Arthur Valentine, here to accelerate awkwardly into a bush. Damn it!
I know they aren't character designers, but it's quite impressive that Lois and Peter managed to come up with the ugliest looking OC ever. It's too bad Chris isn't exactly happy to see Arthur back.
He must be a zombie!
What? No, what?
That'd be my first guess too. Either that or he faked his death to go hang out in Cuba with Tupac. But before Chris can kill his father, they reveal again that Arthur Valentine isn't real.
Now do you understand?
There is no Arthur Valentine?
It's a hard lesson all kids need to learn one day, but Peter definitely contributed to making it worse than it needed to be. Not only was creating the character a bad idea, but deciding to murder him in front of Chris as the real head scratcher. I would do the same to the Easter Bunny though. It's the only way to truly free the world from that horror. And Peter would become a horror to his kids when he got his hand on a whip in Herpe the Love Sore. So Peter accidentally receives Quagmire's mail, and instead of being a good neighbor, he decides to open it.
Ah, sweet, it's a whip!
Peter, be careful with that thing.
Yeah, at least aim towards something you don't want to get damaged, like your toddler over there. So now that he's got himself a brand new fixation, it's time to make it everybody else's problem.
Dad, I don't want to do this.
Stay still! Okay, that's pretty cool too.
Sure, Meg may have a gash across her face longer than that cigarette, but it's not every day you break the laws of physics. Speaking of which, apparently holding that whip gives Peter a new power.
That's a cool whip. Ah, I thought you couldn't understand me!
Actually, I still don't think he can. I think he just wanted to do that. We've really become a society that can't trust a mentally unstable man with a weapon. What has this world come to? And when Peter forced the family to escape society and live on a farm, he ended up turning them into narcotics peddlers and farmer guy. So a news report about rising crime statistics in Quahog comes out, and it appears the danger is about to hit close to home.
Oh my God! We've been burglarized!
And on top of that, all their stuff was stolen too. So after that happens, Lois starts to think it may be time to leave Quahog behind.
I mean, all I ever wanted was to raise our children in a wholesome place.
Not including the house, I guess, because it may just be the least wholesome home I've ever seen. But Peter, thinking he's reading Lois loud and clear, decides to make the executive decision of moving the family out to the countryside.
Hey Lois, you know how I'm always buying things impulsively? Well, that's gonna be very hard to do now that we're living on a farm.
I wouldn't doubt the delivery powers of Amazon. They'll drone strike your package to you if they have to. Then again, maybe Peter meant that now he just won't have the money to buy anything.
Peter, where'd you even get the money to make that kind of purchase?
I sold the house, and I did it on Craigslist.
Look at Peter keeping the Craigslist market alive and thriving. I thought it was nothing but a bunch of weirdos posting about jobs that let them continue to be weirdos.
I did this for the family. Just think of this farm as our next great adventure.
You might just want to rethink how you break the news to Brian. A dog going to a farm usually only means one thing.
Are you ready to go to the nice farm?
No! No! You'll never take me alive!
But after they clear that up, the family packs their things and heads to the farm, only to remember they don't actually know how to farm.
Well, with all this debt and no income, there's no way we're gonna be able to keep up our bank payments.
But Lois, didn't you hear all those suggestive things your husband and kids were talking about? Sounds like they either understand how to farm or you might need to enroll everyone in group therapy.
Chris, you gotta spread that seed until your sack is empty. And Meg, you gotta clear away all that brush so he can plant it deep where it needs to be.
But even though Brian is the closest thing they have to a workhorse, he suggests that he go off to community college to gain the knowledge they need to farm.
With the proper training, maybe I can actually learn something that'll save this farm.
Yeah, in 2 to 4 years maybe. Didn't you hear Lois? It sounds like they're one day away from a mysterious fire that's gonna earn them a lot of insurance money. But when an incoming tornado drives the family into the cellar, they learn they've been sitting on top of a crackpot way to earn some money. Emphasis on the crack.
You guys, I think this is a lab.
Well, the kids gotta learn about chemistry at some point. After all, that one AMC show made it look so fun.
Don't you see, this lab is just what we need to get back on our feet.
And by the time Brian gets back from college, we see just how well that worked out for them.
Brian's home.
What the hell is going on?
Nothing. Just working on a family project.
Isn't it a bit odd that their family projects usually lead to Meg bleeding out on the ground? But apparently their new empire is so big that it's caused an overflow of narcotics into Quahog.
Meg has turned us into monsters.
Lois, take it easy.
No, you know what? This is my own fault for listening to you.
What's this? The cause of all your problems caused another problem? Well, isn't that just the darndest thing? So Lois decides to go back to Quahog, but it's not like they can just pick up and leave. Would you look at that? A good excuse to pick up and leave. Peter pushing the family into Breaking Bad is probably one of his all-time terrible decisions, especially considering they were just a moment away from having their body parts spread across the farm. And Peter would ruin Stewie's body while forcing him to pursue becoming a child star in The Peanut Butter Kid. So it turns out that the Griffins are in so much debt that only an act of God could potentially fix it.
Please let there be money in our bank account. Amen.
Amen. Damn it, it didn't work.
That's what you get for thinking God's just some sugar daddy. You should probably just be trying to get one of those. It'll leave your Sundays way more open. But when the family decides to visit the mall, they come across an opportunity that could start raking in some money.
We saw an ad looking for a toddler to appear in a peanut butter commercial, and we thought we'd bring Susie.
Finally, this baby's good for something other than just childhood whimsy. So they decide to let Stewie give it a crack. After all, he does a very good Brian impression.
I like garbage peanut butter, and I wear my I voted sticker for a week and a half. Nom, 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 nom.
Brian's just mad he never realizes there's a pill in the peanut butter when he's eating it. But Stewie's peanut butter eating genius is quickly recognized.
Congratulations, your son is the new Peanut Butter Kid.
So, almost overnight, Stewie's commercial makes him a local star.
Scooter's peanut butter. So good, your baby will want to eat it in an airport terminal bathroom.
I was wondering why I always find peanut butter stains on the toilets at airports. I guess this commercial answers that question. Weird how it never smells like peanut butter when I see it though. And as it turns out, pimping your baby out for commercials can be quite a lucrative deal.
Whoa, a check for $2,000?
Let me see that. It's a royalty check from Stewie's commercial.
This doesn't bode well for the rest of their kids. If your toddler brother is already the breadwinner, the parents might have to cut you guys loose. And it looks like the gravy train is gonna keep on rolling.
Stewie actually got a call for another commercial tomorrow. Who knows? This could be the beginning of a nice career for him.
But Brian worries about Stewie losing his childhood to show business. But considering Brian now makes even less money than a baby, Peter doesn't think he should chime in.
Wasn't your kid an actor, you jagoff?
Didn't your father hate your guts and die?
Ooh, somebody's mad they didn't succeed in exploiting their kid. But judging by how the next audition goes, it seems like Stewie's career may be over before it begins.
Ow! Ow! Oh, my grundle! It's bruised!
Not sure why he was carrying around a little goblin in his pants, but I hope it heals okay. So it looks like Peter and Lois are gonna have to postpone that early retirement.
Did you see those other kids? They were amazing! One of them was texting with the funny dumb kid from Modern Family.
Hey, don't talk about Cameron that way. He's trying his best. But it sounds like Stewie just needs a talent, and Peter and Lois are willing to spend all day and night honing it.
Why can't he just be Pierce Brosnan? Pierce Brosnan would have got this.
In a heartbeat!
I don't doubt that. Just look at that dancing queen go. But maybe he just needs a little pick-me-up with the strength of 100 little pick-me-ups.
Peter, you're giving your baby drugs to improve his acting career?
Oh, he's fine with it.
Yeah, just look at how he bleeds from the eyes. Looks like we've got a little method actor on our hands.
And here's a trick to keep that confidence up. You go in that room and imagine everyone in it wants you sexually.
Ah, I get it. And then you can imaginarily blackmail them so you can imaginarily get the part. It's foolproof. And when the checks start rolling back in, they just end up using that money to find ways to torture the rest of their kids. Finally, they'll be able to connect with all those other rich parents who 3D print coyotes. It's kind of a status symbol if you aren't in the know. But eventually, all of that pressure and exploitation catches up to the little guy, and he ends up snapping on the set of his next commercial.
Shut your hole, bitch! I'll tell you what I want fresh squeezed. These!
It's terrible, but it just might be the edgy direction the orange juice industry needs to go in. Thankfully, this gets Peter and Lois to realize what monsters they've been.
You were right, Brian. I guess we pushed Stewie a little too hard.
Yeah, but at least this time you were tag teaming the abuse with Lois, so you're not the only terrible parent here. But Peter would continue to be a terrible parent to Meg by hitting her and throwing her to the mercy of home invaders in Untitled Griffin family history. So when invaders break into the Griffin home one night, naturally, the family comes out of their rooms to investigate.
I heard a noise. Is somebody downstairs?
Oh God, Meg, you startled me. I'm sorry.
Okay, off to a great start. Peter often forgets he even has a daughter, so I imagine seeing her is like one big jump scare every day. Thankfully, Peter manages to save everybody by hustling them into the attic and into a panic room.
Oh my God, we're all gonna die!
That's not true. We'll survive by eating each other.
Not even 1 minute in there, they're already thinking about cannibalism. Maybe Peter just always has that thought in the back of his mind and now's the perfect time to try it. Don't act like you haven't had the same thoughts. But why eat the succulent flesh of your family when there's perfectly good sandwich materials in the kitchen?
Meg, go get us some sandwiches.
Wait a minute, that's a great idea. If Meg can get through the vent, she can sneak out and go get help.
Quiet, Brian. Let's handle the more important tasks at hand first. So one spit bath later, Meg's properly lubricated to be haphazardly shoved down the vent.
Hey, Meg, I see you there in the kitchen. Put my sandwich on whole wheat, please.
But it's rude to have guests and not offer them any food, so the burglars end up thwarting Meg's sandwich mission. Well, nothing to do now but move on with their lives and keep telling each other family stories.
You know, Meg being captured by evil men reminds me of another story. It's distracting.
After all, you shouldn't let your daughter getting kidnapped bring down the rest of the family's vibe. Thankfully, the family ends up getting saved before anything bad happens to anyone they care about.
Oh, thank God.
Unfortunately, they're pressing sexual harassment charges against your daughter.
Well, that kind of sounds like a cross that bridge when we come to it sort of problem. The family's saved, so Peter isn't too concerned with whatever it is Meg has going on right now.
Dad!
Have fun at the dance, Meg. I hope she does. That kid really deserves it.
The first fatherly thing he said all episode. It's heartening to know that there's some kind of good father inside him, if only it weren't clouded by immeasurable stupidity. And that stupidity would almost cause Meg to drown when the house flooded and Peter's daughter. So during a heavy rainstorm, the Griffin house quickly starts to flood.
You may want to come down here.
Oh my God!
I know, about the water, right?
You know, I feel like this was every kid's dream at one point. To just have your house be one big pool. Never mind the pollution runoff or lightning risks. It's all worth it to live the dream.
We gotta get out of here.
Hang on, Lois. There's a case of beer in the fridge. I can't leave that behind. Meg, you're a good swimmer. Go get it.
This might sound nonsensical, but that case of beer is like the daughter he never had. But when she goes to retrieve it, her shirt gets stuck on the fridge. And when the decision is between drowning or being topless in front of your family, well, bring on the sweet, sweet release.
Peter, Meg's been in there a long time.
Boy, you cannot wait to criticize her at every turn, can you?
But when Peter goes to check on her, he quickly realizes that Lois might have had a point. If your kid can't complete a simple underwater extraction, then what's even the point of having a kid?
You were right to criticize Meg. She could not even handle this simple task. She's in there right now, taking a nap underwater.
Thankfully, Meg survives after Lois yells at Peter for the third time. He's always bound to do the right thing in the end. You apparently just gotta annoy him to the point where he'll save a life just to get you to shut up. But when everyone was about to lose their lives, Peter admitted that he actually hated spending time with the kids in April and Quahog. So news breaks about an incredible scientific discovery.
The first directly observable instance of a black hole, which appears to be located just outside our solar system.
Aw, dang, I was hoping it was gonna be something a little closer and easier to see.
Neptune and Pluto have already been consumed, and scientists estimate that the event horizon will reach Earth by tomorrow.
Ah, that's better. Yeah, the human race might be done for, but at least the view on the way out's gonna be sweet. Better get that last Instagram story post in before your molecules scramble.
All life on Earth will be destroyed within 24 hours.
Oh my God!
So as the world inches towards its end, people try to fulfill their last wishes and spend time with their loved ones. Well, Peter at least does the first one.
Hello, everybody. This is Montecore. He's my lion. I have a lion now.
I really thought he'd be spending the day doing something different, like actually hanging out with his family. This guy steals zoo animals all the time.
We should be spending these final hours with the people we love most.
Yeah, hence the lion. I know they just met, but there's just a certain soulmate quality to them, no? So Peter continues to avoid the family right up until the very last moments the world has.
You know, you'd think you'd want to spend your last day on Earth with your family.
Hey, I'm here, aren't I?
Physically, yes. Mentally, he's still thinking about Montecore. But since the world's gonna end anyway, how about one last moment of honesty?
I just hate being around the kids.
What?
6, 5. Sorry, I just thought I'd be honest since we're gonna die.
Well, luckily for you, they're gonna have a lot of years to appreciate just how honest you are.
April Fools!
What?
You gotta be kidding me.
Hey, that's on you for not looking at the calendar. April 1st is like the purge. Anything goes.
You hate being around the kids?
Yeah, Dad, what did you mean?
Don't you like us?
Yeah, kinda gonna be hard to spin that one into anything positive. Come on, you just realized you're gonna live and you're pounding this guy with loaded questions? No wonder he doesn't like you guys.
All right, you want the truth? They bore the hell out of me, Lois.
Bore the hell out of you? They're your kids.
Yeah, and don't you think they should be putting in a little more work to earn that unconditional love? But it looks like Peter is the one who will need to put in the work because the kids aren't gonna forgive him easily.
Hey, what's on tap for school today, kids?
Shut up, Dad.
Whatever.
The shoe doesn't feel so good when it's on the other foot, does it? That's what he gets for hitting Meg with all those verbal shoes. So Peter tries his best to reconnect with his children over some bonding activities.
So I got some crystal meth. I figured we could do it together as father and son.
I don't know about that.
Geez, no wonder Peter found them boring. This house is filled with a bunch of squares. Squares whose hearts won't collapse at 40, but squares nonetheless.
I am so ready.
But who would have thought hard narcotics weren't the way into his kids' hearts? I guess Peter can just try being sentimental, speaking from the heart about how much better off his life is with his kids in it.
I don't buy it.
Me neither.
When you jump through my ceiling, you let an owl in.
Yeah, kids don't usually care about love and sentiment. But you know what they do care about?
Who wants a brand new Xbox?
Yay!
Oh, Daddy!
Oh my god, you're the best father ever!
Personally, I would have liked my family enough to get them a PlayStation, but it's the thought that counts. Still, it's incredibly messed up that Peter chose his last words to his kids to be that he hated them. Then again, what else do you expect when his father did the exact same thing?
You're a fat, stinking drunk.
And Peter would show just how much he hates Meg when he asked God to erase her from existence in 3 acts of God. So Peter and the guys decide to go on a hunt for God after they believe he's interfering in football.
How many times is God gonna ruin our Sunday with both church and bad football?
Never thought I'd see a reverse Crusades in my lifetime, but I guess one bad season of football is enough to turn you into Gore the God Butcher. But they do eventually track God down and convince him to spare the Patriots from his judgment.
I'll leave the Patriots alone.
Oh, thanks, God!
Really appreciate it.
But Peter can't just be happy with one miracle, he's got to ask for another. And this next one is kinda unsettling.
What's happening?
Don't look at her. Don't look at her. It's okay. Just go with it. It'll all be over in a second.
Well, I guess God might still have a thing for taking firstborn children. Even still, couldn't he have just zapped her from existence? Did he have to make her fade away so slowly? Most people find God to get closer to their children, but Peter might be the first one to do it just to get rid of them. But we hope you don't get rid of us, and remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the Sweaty Clam channel if you want to see more great Family Guy related videos.